Hey guys, this is Wayne from Make It Wayne, and I'm back again with my next video on the Awful Performer 5+2. Hopefully I've already got all the math jokes out of the way, and if I do drop some, I will probably just do it sparingly as opposed to, hitting everybody over the head with it. So we're going to go into the full sound and full review portion. I'm not going to do the unboxing again. You've already seen that, or if you haven't seen it, go ahead and click below and check out that video if you're curious about the set and how it looks and how it feels and everything. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into synergy, all the sound bits and fit and everything. So yeah, let's get started. So I want to talk real quick about the general accessories that you get with the Performer 5+2. And I think the accessories and the cable and just general unboxing experience is top notch, especially for this price point, but just in general, like regardless of price, I think it's very good. The cable is very substantial but light at the same time. It's very maneuverable, pliable, but doesn't feel flimsy at all. It's probably one of the best ones I've ever used. You get a generous amount of tips, although I don't like the smooth nozzle. That is a nitpick I will always have, because that does mean that my collection of tips that I generally really like the Final Type E clear reds, those are my favorite tips of all time, and unfortunately I can't use that because the nozzle does not have a lip. It's very smooth, which means things pop out into my ear, and I don't like that. But otherwise, overall build is excellent, and I really do want to re-emphasize that that is a great selling point on the Performer 5+2. It is a very nice feeling IEM, and it looks good, very gorgeous. Yeah. Okay, so overall sound signature. How does the Performer 5+2 sound? Balanced, very balanced, very. If I was to say, if I was to kind of emphasize more on the balance point, I would say it's more like the balanced bright type of sound signature. And it's not to say that there isn't some warmth to it, and there's not like, it's not like there's not bass in it, but I think the elevation in the treble does make it geared towards that bright-ish sound. So if you are treble sensitive, that is something to be cognizant of. You're probably not going to want to jack these up all the way to like high volume listening. But if you're on a moderate, like medium level type of listening, you're going to get very balanced with a little hint of brightness on it. Not to the point where it's like feels uncontrolled. It is very controlled. It's not sibilant, not harsh, but it will veer towards that aspect a bit more. But yeah, we'll get more into that in the treble section. So getting more into the bass itself is more about the quality side versus the quantity side. So you're getting good sub bass, but it's not going to be like the best, like deepest sub bass you've ever heard. It's not that subwoofer effect. You're not getting like a deuce level of sub bass. You're getting very good, albeit maybe more on the polite side of sub bass. You're getting very good mid bass punch. It's very punchy. It's very, it gives you a good engagement there. Again, it's not going to be like the Explorer level, where I feel like the Explorer, mostly because the upper mids and the treble is tuned to be a little bit more safer, you get more of that emphasis on the bass. So where the Explorer is a bit more bassy, this is going to be more of that quality side, where you're getting a lot of detail. Instruments that play in this field, it's very, very well textured, just very good overall detail. Again, quality is key here. It's good bass quality, not necessarily the best bass quantity. You could easily EQ that, or if you have a deuce, use the impedance adapter. But overall, quality is king here, and I think the Performer 5+2 does an excellent job with presenting very good overall clear detailed bass. So to talk about the mid-range a little bit more, the mid-range is very detailed, very well balanced. There's exceptional clarity here and there. I think male vocals come off as, full enough. There could be a bit more note weight there, or maybe a little bit more elevation, but I think the way that they've had the overall sound frequency tuned, it provides good clarity overall. Detail is king here. Female vocals shine very well. There's a good proper amount of air. It's never too like shouty or anything like that. It's exactly how you expect the track to play it back. So, you know, if you listen to a lot of female vocals, this is excellent. Without having too much like bloat or excessive note weight or anything like that. I do think that the note weight could be a bit deeper or a bit like fuller sounding, but you know, it's going for a very balanced type of sound signature, and I think it hits good marks there. It would just really be nitpicking, like I wish there was a little bit more here and there, but that's kind of, you know, if I'm trying to find something as a negative, that's a good sign, because overall it does everything exceptionally well. I think the details shine here. And yeah, mid-range is very well done. So the treble. This is where it differs a little bit from like the Explorer, where you get like a little bit more safer treble, where it's not too elevated. And if you want to bring it up, you bring up the volume and then you'll get that back. The treble for the Performer 2 cubed -1, I had to get one in at least, I apologize. But the treble where the Performer 5+2 is concerned, it is a bit more on the energetic side. So there is some elevation. It does come off at times very spicy depending on the track and depending on the volume you're listening to. So where a lot of other IEMs are kind of tuning it to be a little more safer and there's a little bit more of a treble roll off, there is none in this case, or rather it's not as like deep, so you get a lot of energy. For people that are treble sensitive, I would really be cognizant that this can be a bit more spicy than you're used to, or than you're expecting from like a standard Performer like series or Aful type of IEM. Like they tune it usually very smooth, very safe-ish, like very balanced. And in this case, it can be a little bit more spicy than you'd expect. Just something to be cognizant of. I don't think it's to the point where it's harsh. It's never that way. It's never sibilant. There's no graininess that I've ever noticed. It's the proper amount of air and detail and clarity. The resolution is very good. It is just there, so you're gonna want to be more cognizant. And if you have tips that kind of open up on the treble a little bit more, that might be something to be aware of. So the technical performance for the Performer 7 is very well done. Imaging, sound separation, everything is exactly where it should be. It's very crisp, very precise. The details shine through. I think the only nitpick I would really have is on soundstage. Like, I think it is very wide sounding, but there's like a little bit of that like depth of field effect here, where I feel like things are kind of more on a like oval shape as opposed to spherical. So, I mean, I'm getting very nitpicky because I just feel like the soundstage is very wide left and right. It does feel like things are kind of more closed in, like on a like in front of me and behind me type of field, but overall it's very well done. I think the most people that listen to this would be very satisfied, especially at this price point. Like, I think the technical performance punches way above. It's not going to be the most technical set. It's not going to be the most like, you know, overall throwing detail separation at you, but I think it balances everything very well with the sound signature. And overall, very happy with the technical performance here. So, quick comparisons. I have the Performer 5+2 in my hand. I've listened to a few others like the Deuce, the Estrella, the Da Vinci. Where I feel like the Performer 5+2 steps in is it provides more of that general balanced sound. The Da Vinci is a little bit bassier. The Estrella is more of that like kind of more elevated bass and elevated treble, more energetic space. People might find that more resolving or more technical. It just depends on the ear of the listener. The Deuce is more of that bassy all-rounder, and in this case, this is more of a balanced, maybe more on the balanced bright side of a sound signature. So if that's what you're looking for, like a kind of a balanced like all-rounder with a little bit of brightness here and there where it needs to be more energetic, that's where the Performer 5+2 kind of finds the niche. I think it's more of an additive to a collection. So if you already have a lot of other like all-rounders that you enjoy, I don't think this is going to take away from it. I think it's going to be more of another taste of it. But if you are looking for something with more bass, then you're going to want to go with the Deuce or the Da Vinci or maybe even the Estrella. If you're looking for something more balanced, this is where it shines very well. If you're looking at the Dusk or something like that, or in this price range, I think the Tangchim Origin is available. I've been listening to the Pula Anvil 114. I think the Performer 5 Plus 2 is like right in that field of competition. How that changes in the next coming months, with more releases coming out using different technology, that remains to be seen. But overall, I think the Performer 5 Plus 2 performs very well against the competition. There are certain cases where I prefer this balanced type of sound signature. Also depends on your listening, what you're listening for, what you're trying to relax with your music on. If you're, just trying to be chill, this might be it. If you're looking for something to bob your head to, like more bass, again, the Deuce or the Da Vinci or something like that is the way to go. But overall, I think it competes very well with its peers and provides more of that balanced and technical and slightly brighter type of sound signature. So other things to be aware of. What I would say the Performer 5 Plus 2 works best at is more moderate volume listening. I don't think you'd want to crank it up too much because, again, it is a bit more elevated on the treble as opposed to the Explorer. I mean, the Explorer is the almost ultimate, like, I want to turn the volume up to 11 type of situation where I want to have full volume, I want to drown out the world. That's where the Explorer sits still. And as far as the Performer 5 Plus 2, I think this kind of sits in a more like moderate, like chill type of listening with a bit more energy and a bit more like detail and balance overall. You can listen to it at higher volumes, but just be cognizant that that would probably pair well with a better, like warmer source. So if you have like a tube DAC amp or something like that, that might be the route to go. Or if you have an R2R, like the K11 R2R probably would work really well with this to help balance that out and provide a little bit more note weight and provide a little bit more warmth. Always talking about source energy. I use a JDS Element 3, which is very transparent, so I can get a little bit of that spice when I'm like bumping up too loud. I think having the right source can really unlock it if you want to like take something that is that balanced and very detailed and then like just work around with it a little bit without like playing full into the EQ. I think it works very well with the clean transparent source, but I think it can shine a bit more with the like R2R type of DAC amps. So yeah, things to just be aware of. Overall, I think it's a very good balanced set and I'm very, very happy with it. So in conclusion, the Performer 5 Plus 2 is an excellent IEM. I think it more than competes with its peers in certain ways. It would fit certain libraries a bit better. It would also fit certain ears a bit better. I think overall it provides great value. It provides a good balance, U shape with a bit extra brightness, a bit extra treble elevation for people that enjoy that type of sound. If you are a fan of Aful products as a whole, like you have the Performer 5 or the Explorer Magic 1, I think this is a great entry. I think it's not necessarily a must get, this is still a $239 set. But if you are in the market for that, I think this is a next step up. I think it's a bit better than like the Explorer. Technically it is better than the Explorer. The Explorer is still a very fun, warm, set that works for my library and works for some of my moods sometimes. But if you are in the market for a balanced, but detailed and still good bass, but overall very clear and resolving type of set, this is a really good entry point for you and a very good selection and option. Overall, I give the Performer 5 Plus 2 a 8.8 out of 10. Rounded down, that's 4.4, so more than enough for me to round up to a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's a very good IEM, and overall, I'm very happy with the Aful Performer 5 Plus 2. It's a good IEM, so yeah, that's it for the full review, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave below. Otherwise, I'm Make It Wayne signing out.